Today is a special day. Why is today a special day? I'm glad you asked. Today marks the first day of Transgender Awareness Week, but that's not why today is a special day. But today I am going to take the time to make you aware of an electronic musician who truly means a lot to me personally, who I really look up to and inspires me every single day, who just so happens to be trans. It also just so happens to be her birthday today. I am, of course, talking about Wendy Carlos. Wendy Carlos, who in 1968 wrote this absolute masterpiece of an album, Switched on Bach, an album entirely of Bach's music, but performed for the first time ever on a Moog synthesizer. Now, this album single-handedly put the synthesizer into the public eye and essentially put it on the map. She collaborated closely with Bob Moog himself on the development of the Moog synthesizer, and so her influence just by this album alone on the world of electronic music cannot be denied, but her influence goes so much farther than that. And you gotta keep in mind that in 1968, there were no computers, and a synthesizer was an entire room full of machine. You kinda had to be something of an engineer just to know how to make it make a sound at all. So when she was writing this in 1968, strictly on reel-to-reel tape recorders, sometimes recording one note at a time, I imagine it must have been excruciating at times, but the end result is nothing short of stunning. This album, you listen to it, it will make you think about synthesizers in ways that you never thought were even possible. Wendy has decided to not release this album or any of her work on streaming services, and I don't blame her one bit because we know what the streaming industry has done to the music industry. But if you want to give this album a listen, I suggest you go down to your local record store. They're probably going to have a couple copies of it because there were many copies of this sold, and you should be listening to it on an analog medium anyway, let's be honest. But I just wanted to take this time to say happy birthday, Wendy. Your influence on the world of electronic music cannot be denied. It will live for generations, and you are an astounding, amazing artist. There are people in the world who love you and think the world of your work. I hope you have the happiest of birthdays. And don't forget, trans rights are human rights. Thanks, everybody.